Hi, thanks for joining me on this video. Today I'm just going to change the oil on my Honeywell generator. It's a 17 kilowatt. So what I'm going to do is run it for about 5 minutes just to heat up the oil. And after I'm done that, I'm going to drain the oil and change the filter and put in some new oil. So I've already actually heated it up, so I put it into manual mode, switched it to off, and then I just hit manual, starts up the engine, let it run for about 5 minutes, and then when I'm done, I'm going to remove this cover here. Let me just put this down, and what you've got here is the drain plug. So it's just held up by this tie here. You can release the tie, remove the drain plug. What you're going to do is unscrew this and then drain it into a pot. So I've actually already started, but I thought I'd videotape this in case it's helpful for anyone. As you can see, I started to already drain some of the oil. It's been a couple of years since I've changed the oil. Last time I actually put in some synthetic, and I found a replacement FRAM filter, which actually is equivalent to the original Generac filter that's in here, except not as expensive as the Generac. I guess you're probably just paying for the make. This does the trick. It's a FRAM, and I'll give you the exact number later. So what I'm going to do is just unscrew this. Before I do that, I'm just going to take the cap off where you fill the oil, let some air in here, and also remove the dipstick. Okay, come back here, put my little pan underneath, unscrew this. And then proceed to drain the oil. As I said, I already started taking some out, so it's just going to drain. So I'm going to let this continue, and then I'll remove the filter and put in some new oil. So let this finish, and I'll be right back. Just kind of holding it down a bit just to drain as much of the oil as I can. I just want to point out, although it's a Honeywell purchased at Costco, installed by myself, it's actually a Generac engine. So Honeywell probably just brands it. There's the battery that's inside the unit. It does not come with a battery when you buy it, so I actually just bought the battery at Walmart. It's been in here for about 4 years. This is in Ontario, Canada, so the weather does get quite cold in the winters. I did not purchase a battery warming kit. I think they're just overpriced. And my car sits outside in the winter, so it's not an issue with starting. It's not that cold, so I didn't have to do that. And I don't have any issues with the unit doing a self-test in the winter. I have it programmed to start and run for about 5 minutes once a week. And there's no issues in the winter with the unit starting up. So I'm just going to wait for this to finish draining. It's almost done. It's dripping now. Okay, I'm just going to put the cap back on. Filming and doing this with one hand at the same time, so. Okay, I'll tighten it after. Okay, and I'm just going to put it back where it came from. Up in here where the little tie thing is. Okay, nice and tight. It's in there. I'll just give one more little twist. Now I'm going to remove the oil filter. Hopefully there's no mess. Okay, so I normally use channel locks just to remove a filter, but I found this oil filter remover tool that I can use for my cars as well. I just bought it in a local hardware store. Canadian Tire to be exact, for those that live in Canada. And this is the first time using this tool, so I'm just gonna grab it here. I just want to basically loosen it. Let me try to tighten it. I'll try to put it on the smaller setting. Okay, there we go. And that's enough to twist it, and I can then do it with my hand. Now that I've got it loose, I'll proceed to use my hands. I'm going to keep my little container close by so I can put the filter in there. It's starting to leak already, but I'll clean that up. No big deal. Okay, a lot of oil in the filter itself. So this is a FRAM. I want to show you the replacement one. Okay, so let me just clean this up so I'm not making, and there's a bit of a mess as I took the filter out. So I'm just going to clean this up and I'll be right back. So it's all cleaned up, and this is the filter I'm going to be replacing it with, the FRAM Extra Guard, and the number is PH3614. So I'm just going to put the filter on. Now, put a little bit of oil on it, even if it's a dirty oil. I'll just dip my finger in here, put some oil around the rubber. And then I'm going to screw it on. So just hand tighten. Don't use any tool to tighten these things. I'm going to put the camera down and tighten with two hands. Okay, so I've tightened it with two hands. Now I'm going to proceed to fill it up with some oil, get myself a filter, and the oil I'm using is just synthetic oil. It's a Castro Edge, and the grade is 5W30. That's the recommended in the manual. This is obviously we've got cold and warm seasons here, so this motor oil will take you through all the various temperature ranges that I experience up here in Canada. So the manual says it takes about 1.8 liters. I'm going to put some in and then measure it with the dipstick, make sure it's full. Be right back. I'm going to use this funnel. Seems to do the trick. Put it inside the fill area, and I'm going to proceed to put some oil in here and just make sure it doesn't come flying out. Hard to do while I'm holding the camera, so I'm just going to put this down, fill it up, and I'll stop, check with the dipstick, clean your dipstick, put it in, check the levels from time to time until you get to the pretty much between the two dots there. So if you're within the two dots, then you're good. Anything above that would be too much. Anything below the one dot will be too little. So here's the second dot. You want to be below this, and you want to be above the first dot. So I'm going to put some oil in, then check it, and when I'm all done, I'll show you. So I just finished putting in some oil. I'm going to put the dipstick in, make sure you clean it. Not sure if you can see it. It still needs oil. So I'm going to put some more oil and I'll test it again. Make sure you clean your dipstick between each test. So I've added more oil. I'm going to check it again. And this time it looks like it's good. So I'm going to start it up. Some oil is going to end up inside the oil filter, and I may have to check it again and add some more. So let me just do that. Alright, let me just take my filter out. Keep it here so it doesn't make a mess. I don't want anything spilling out here in case, so I'm just going to put this oil filler back in, put my dipstick back in. I'm going to start it up, so just hit manual. That should be enough to get the oil in the filter. Let me just clean it and then test it. Hang on, I'll be right back. I just cleaned a dipstick, put it back in, and I'm going to test it, make sure that the oil level looks good. Let me just add a little bit more. I just added some more oil after I started it up, so oil can go into the filter. I'm going to check it, make sure it's good. And I'm not sure if you can tell, but it looks perfect. So I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to add any more. I'm just going to close her up and start it again and make sure everything's good. So I've put the dipstick back. I'm going to seal this up where you fill in the oil. Okay, that's tight. Filter's good. This is secured. Going to put the cover back on. Might be a little bit hard to do with one hand, but I'm going to try. There's little clips it needs to go into down there on the bottom. And on the side you can see there's little hooks that it has to hook onto. Trying this with one hand as I film. Almost got it in. There we go. That's in, secured. I'm going to start it up one more time. So that's all good. I'm going to mark down when I did the maintenance. Right now it's switched off. I'm going to put it back into automatic mode. And it's ready to go. As it says, ready to run. That's it. That's the oil change on a Honeywell / Generac 17 kilowatt entire home generator. Thanks for watching.